It's time for Success in Real Estate with Frankie Griffin, owner and broker in charge of the Palmetto Success Team, certified residential specialist, accredited buyer representative, military relocation professional, real estate appraiser, and author of Success in Real Estate. If you are interested in buying or selling a home, investing in real estate, or having your home appraised, you will enjoy Success in Real Estate. Now, here's Frankie Griffin.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Success in Real Estate. I am Frankie Griffin. Thank you for joining us this morning. I've got a few things we want to talk about and touch on today. The big one is a buyer's toolkit that I've got. And everything I'm going to be talking about in this toolkit is available, or you can see it on my website. Again, my website is www.frankiegriffin.com. Again, frankiegriffin.com. And you can find everything I'm going to be talking about today. But want to go ahead and give out the phone number for anybody that has any questions or comments about my buyer's toolkit. You can give me a call. The number is 799-8255. Again, 799-8255, or TALK, if that helps you to remember it at all. And I did want, actually, before I get into my buyer toolkit, I did have an announcement I want to make for all of you realtors and real estate agents out there. I actually have a ABR, the Accredited Buyers Representative course. I'm going to be teaching this class next week, which would be Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, the ABR class. So anybody that has not received that designation, it's an awesome, awesome course. REBAC has totally revamped it. We actually talk about things that are current and things that buyers are dealing with today. Awesome course, and I would encourage you to take that. You need to go ahead and register. Contact the real estate school. That's the Real Estate School for Success, and get signed up and register for that class. I've also got one more class, designation/certification course. This is actually a one-day class that's going to be on Thursday of next week, and that's the BPO, a Broker Price Opinion course. And that's really going to be a really big. A lot of agents are already signed up for this one, so you better, if it's something you're interested in, you do not want to drag your feet here. You need to get your name on the list. But if you're thinking about doing BPOs, then obviously this course would be awesome for you. But even if you're not wanting to do BPOs, this class, it's a one-day class, but we will teach you how to do a professional market analysis. And I think that's what a lot of homeowners are really expecting from their agents today. They want to make sure we have a good value, market value for the property, so that way we know it's priced right. So again, the ABR class is going to be Tuesday and Wednesday next week. The BPO will be Thursday. You can contact the Real Estate School for Success. In fact, the website is www.realestateschoolforsuccess.com. And anyway, we'd love to have you in that class. So I want to get right back to this buyer's toolkit. Some things I think you need to consider if you're thinking about buying a house. And one, obviously the first step is we have to define exactly what it is we want and what we're looking for. I hear all the time where buyers are out looking for houses and they look for weeks and months on end just looking at a bunch of houses, and that's not the way you want to do this. There's all kind of problems with that, and I don't want to get into all that to that part of it right now. But one of the things that I have been doing, or we've been doing here at the Palmetto Success Team, we like to sit down with the buyer, and I've actually come up with what I call, for lack of better terms, a buyer profile sheet. But it's about 2 or 3 pages, or it's about 2.5 pages. But there's some questions here where, buyer, you have the opportunity to actually get very specific in what it is you're looking for, what you want in your property. You ask a lot of times buyers, what are you looking for in a house? And what you tend to hear at least in terms of a description, is, well, I want 3 bedrooms, I want 2 bathrooms, right around 1,900 to 2,000 square feet. Garage would be nice over in the Irmo St. Andrews area. And that seems to be a very common type of description. The problem is when I put that description in the MLS, I'm going to get several hundred houses pop up. Well, are we going to go look at several hundred houses? I think not, or at least I'm not. I want to help you, but I don't like looking at houses that much. So we have to streamline this a little bit. And on this profile sheet, where basically buyer is going through, not only are you trying to answer the description that we talked, or at least the one that I just defined earlier. I mean, that's fine description, but we got to get a little more detailed. For example, say in the master bedroom, do you want a walk-in closet? Do we want his and her closets? Do we want tray ceilings? Do you want a balcony or deck off the master bedroom? Do we want separate showers, separate tubs? Do we want hardwood floors? But anyway, there's a long list of things that you can sort of pick and choose from just for the master bedroom. And then you do that for every room in the house. Now we're getting very specific. And what I find most buyers will tell me is, Frankie, that you know what, I didn't even think about it, but I have to have this. This has to be in the house for sure. Hadn't even thought about it. Glad I saw that on the list. And this just really helps us kind of streamline our search a great deal. And I find the buyers absolutely love it. So make sure we know exactly what you want and what your needs are before we even start shopping. The second thing we have to try to figure out is we want to make sure we can determine exactly what you can afford. And sometimes what we want and what we can afford may be just a little bit different. So we got to make sure we know what that affordability is. We need to talk to someone like Erica West. She's a mortgage consultant, my mortgage go-to gal. She does an awesome job helping buyers figure out exactly what they can afford. And another thing there, we need to make sure we know what kind of financing you're going to be using, how much you're going to put down, if any. I have to know all of those things if I'm going to be able to present a strong offer in your interest, and I have to know all that. And I get really concerned when agents start just writing up offers and the buyer has not even applied for a loan yet. Haven't applied for a loan, you don't even know, first of all, you can get the loan, and you don't know what the terms are. So those are some things we got to get done right up front. And again, all these things that I'm talking about, you can find on my website. If you just go to www.frankiegriffin.com, you'll see a home buyers page. You can click on it, and you'll see a little drop-down menu, and one of the items is Buyer's Toolbox, or Buyer's Toolkit. These are the kind of things that you got to really keep in mind and consider when you're thinking about buying a house. Just a real quick review from the first segment. We certainly want to make sure we know what we want, what we're looking for. That makes the home shopping process a whole lot easier. We got to get qualified financially. We got to talk to Erica West or whoever your preferred lender would be. But we got to know what you can afford and what kind of loan you can get. Those things are very, very important. And then now it's time to really start shopping for homes. And what a lot of buyers are doing right now, in fact, there was actually a report that was put out here a while back by the National Association of Realtors that actually indicated just over 90% of all buyers last year found the home themselves, or found the home they actually bought. They found them themselves online, searching online. And I recommend that. I think that's an awesome way to get started, to kind of weed out sort of what you like and what you don't like. Let's look at these properties online. You've got all kinds of websites. There's hundreds of websites you can go to. to search for homes for sale. But, I got to just tell you, you need to be very careful. Well, I say careful. You're not going to get in trouble looking at it. But the problems you're going to run into with a lot of these websites is they are not current or up to date in terms of the status of the home. I have people all the time. Buyers call me quite frequently about a property that they found online that they're sort of interested in, wanting me to see if I can go ahead and schedule a showing for them. And then when I go to look it up, I find that house has been sold for 3 or 4 months. I mean, it's no longer available. And then the buyers get a little upset. Well, then why is it out here? We can't. I say we real estate agents really cannot control the updating of these statuses on all these third-party sites. There's just no way to do that. And so, but one way you can control it is by going to my website, again, frankiegriffin.com, and you can actually search the MLS. It is current. It's up to the minute. So you won't have to worry about is this already been sold or not. It should be current and up to the minute. No question about that. Again, just go to frankiegriffin.com, and then actually you can if I can get it out, you can actually click on the area of town that you're concerned about or interested in, and search that way, whether it be Northeast or Forest Acres or Casey or St. Andrews, Irmo, that kind of stuff. So, again, when you start looking for homes, just go to my website, frankiegriffin.com, and start your search that way. All right, well, we got a phone caller on the line, so let's go straight to our phone lines. How we doing, caller?
Hey.
Is this Lisa?
No, it's Melissa.
Melissa, am so sorry. I'm half blind and I couldn't read the computer screen.
That's okay. I just have a quick question. I'm going to take my answer off the air.
Uh-huh.
And I just was wondering, how long should the whole process of applying for a loan take from start to finish?
Well, when you say the whole process, you mean before you get word on what you're qualified for, or when you actually close?
When we actually close.
Okay, sure. I'd be more than happy to, and I appreciate the question, Melissa. All right, I hope you have a great weekend. All right, well, the first thing you need to do is you contact the lender. I certainly encourage people to at least talk to Erica West. She can let us know within the hour what you're going to be able to do or not be able to do. But then you're looking at, depending on the situation, it's possible you could probably close, assuming that you're applying for financing. You're probably going to need 2 to 3 weeks for the underwriter to go through all the paperwork and research and things they have to do. And then you've got a little bit of time the attorney is going to need. So on average, you're looking at about 3 to 4 weeks from the time you actually put the house under contract. Now, to be able to close. Now, in some cases, we can do it much faster than that. In fact, I can tell you, I've had clients that have used Erica to get their loan. We've actually closed in less than 2 weeks once we put the house under contract. So it really depends a lot on the particular property, the type of financing, and those things. But I think you would be safe to just go ahead and count on about 3 to 4 weeks on average from the time we put it under contract to closing. Now, the time it takes to find the house, well, a lot of times that's up to the buyer and how good a detail I get in terms of what you're looking for, which is really what we're kind of talking about in the first segment on how important it is to actually define what it is you're looking for. But, Melissa, I hope that helps, and if you or anybody else would like to talk to me off the air about trying to look for a house or what the process would be, just give me a call. In fact, I'll go ahead and give you my cell phone right now. In fact, if I can remember it, I'll give it out again at the end of the show. But my cell phone is 315-7303. And of course, the area code is 803-315-7303. And love to help you any way I can. Melissa, hope you have a great weekend. All right, so anyway, back to my home buyer toolkit. Once we have found the house, now it's time to make the offer. And this kind of gets into a little bit of what you, Melissa, may have been asking about. But when we get ready to make the offer, this process can be very easy. It can go very smoothly. But then again, sometimes it can go not so smoothly also. And it's got a lot to do with attitudes that both buyers and sellers sort of bring to the table here, along with the real estate agent. In fact, the real estate agent is going to have an awful lot to do with how smooth this process is going to be. But the first thing as a buyer you want to keep in mind, if it's a house you really, really like, you want this house, the last thing you want to do is go in with what we might want to call a lowball offer. I have found sending in a lowball offer, which equates to a huge slap in the face to the seller, does not create a lot of motivation for the seller to want to work with this buyer. But once we've made the offer, and really didn't finish talking about this offer, but you certainly want to make an offer that would be appealing to the seller. Now, you can make a good offer that would be a good deal for you, buyer, without insulting or trying to take the house from the seller. And, there was a time when that might work, but that's not the market we're in today. Buyer, you need to understand we are moving into a more of a seller's market right now. So the seller can certainly and will have a little more control over exactly what they're doing and what's going on. So you got to keep that in mind. Again, we just don't want to offend the seller and then lose the opportunity of get you in your dream home. So that's those are some of the things we certainly want to be careful of. And let's go straight back to our phone lines where we've got Larry on the line. How you doing, Larry?
I'm doing great. How are you today?
Oh, this is a fine day today, Larry.
I appreciate you taking my call.
Oh, it's a pleasure. What's going on?
Well, I got just a quick one for you. I think I kind of know the answer, but I want to check and see what you think. I'm in the process of I'm thinking about buying a house, and my question is sometimes you go looking for houses and you find one first or second or third house, then you find that you fall in love with it, and my question is, is there a certain number you should look for in houses, or before you say I've got the one that I want, or when do you stop in terms of looking?
Well, you know what? That's a good question, Larry. What I find is when it's the right house, you know it. If you're not, there's some hesitation there's usually a reason for that hesitation. That intuition really means a lot. And
well, for me, the thing that I'm looking at is it'd probably be more cost than anything. I mean, I know what I like, and I know if I see something I like, I'm going to know if I love it or I don't love it. But I'm always thinking in the back of my mind, can I get a better deal, somewhere else? Well, that's why I was thinking, do I keep looking or do I just go for the one I like?
Well, okay. Well, that's a good point. But the problem you run into, there's always going to be better deals. But can you find them, and can you get to it before somebody else gets to it? That's going to be the question. And, I would hate to see, as if I were representing you, I would hate for you and I to find the house that you like. It's a good deal. It's a good investment, and you feel good about it, and then take the chance losing it by somebody else buying it out from under you because we're still looking at some other potential properties.
Right, that's a good point.
And I'm just going to tell you, Larry, that happens a lot where the buyers will walk in, and before we leave, they're saying, Frankie, this is it. This is it. Now, when you tell me this is it, Larry, that kind of means we're ready to buy this one.
Right. That makes sense. That makes sense.
But they want to hold off. They want to I want to make sure it's the right one, so I want to go look at some more. And I don't have a problem with that, and I understand that. But there has been many times in the past where by the time we go back to get the one they said this was it, it's already under contract and somebody else has it.
Right. Well, I'm not the kind of person really that's going to be that fickle. I mean, I know what I like, and I know if I find something, I'm pretty sure I'll be set on it. But I just know with times being what they are with money, you want to try to save where you can save. But then on the other hand, I'm thinking, the market's not going to be that different from one place to another if it's the same square footage and things like that, right? I mean, it's not going to be that much different, is it?
Well, it depends on how far you go, but right around the Midlands, yeah, it's pretty much going to be the same.
Yeah. Wow.
There are some what we call hot pockets, right here in the Midlands that
Right.
if it's on the market, we pretty much know your offer better be pretty much what the seller wants if you stand any chance of getting it, and you better hurry up and get that offer in.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that sounds good. I appreciate your help. I always enjoy listening to your show, and I enjoy you talking with you.
Well, I appreciate you calling. If there's something I can do to help you, I hope you'll let me know.
I sure will. Thanks again.
All right, buddy. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye now.
All righty. All right, and then back to my buyer toolkit, and then, if you have any questions yourself, give me a call. The number 799-8255, 799-8255. Now that we have the house under contract, in the contract we have here in the Midlands, we have, or I say we, buyer has a 10-day due diligence period. This is a time that you can go in, buyer, and have the house checked out. You can have various inspections. There's all kind of things we need to do. And and I think most buyers probably understand we're going to have a home inspection, hopefully. Now, again, obviously, buyer, this is up to you. These are not things you have to do, but it is certainly recommended. But we're going to have a home inspection on the property to make sure we've identified any potential problems with the house before we actually purchase it. We want to have a heating and air inspection on the house. And one thing I will just note about that heating and air, and I think is important for people to understand, this heating and air inspection, it might not be everything some buyers think it is. Really, all the heating and air companies doing when they come out is they are just checking the unit to see if it's working right now. They're going to turn it on. They're going to go in and see, is there cold air blowing out of these vents? And then they're going to turn the heat on. And then they're going to see, is there hot air blowing out of these vents? And that's about it. All they're doing is saying this unit was working properly at the time we checked it or inspected it. In fact, these companies, most of them, they'll tell you this too. The moment that van or that truck backs out of the driveway, that letter is no good anymore. They're just saying it was working properly at the time we checked it out. And that's really all you're going to get there. We also recommend a survey. That's not something that's typically required. In fact, most buyers wind up not having a survey done, but I always like to recommend buyers get it, and the reason for it is you never know if there are any encroachments on this property. When I say encroachments, where there are things, whether it be a fence or a building that is encroaching onto your property from your neighbor's property, or the other way around. Maybe you've got a building in your yard that's sitting on the property line and encroaching on your neighbor's property. We need to know that before you buy it, because I'm just telling you, your title insurance could cause you some problems if you did not get a survey done. For example, say you buy the house, you've been there 5 years, you bought title insurance, which would cover you for any title defects or problems with that property when you bought it. But if that title company can show that if you had completed it or had a survey completed on this property, and it would have uncovered this problem, and then you decided not to have the survey, then buyer, that's your fault, and now your title insurance is not going to cover you. So we don't want to take the chance of voiding out your title insurance coverage by not having a survey. There's some other reasons that I'd love to get into, it's just I'm afraid we don't have the time. And then lastly, in my buyer toolkit, we get ready to go to closing. A couple things there. On the agent's part, the agent has a legal obligation to check and verify this HUD-1, which is the settlement statement, to make sure it is accurate and it's the way it's supposed to be and there's nothing wrong. That's an agent's responsibility. And then lastly, if you're buying your house, Always make sure that you have scheduled the utilities to be transferred into your name effective on the day of closing. I can just tell you, most of the time, the sellers will have already arranged for these utilities to be cut off on the day of closing. So you don't want to move in and all of a sudden now you've got no power, no electricity, no water, nothing, and goodness sakes, we don't want to move in and there's no cable or TV to watch. So make sure we have transferred all the utilities over into your name, or at least to take place effective the date of closing.
Here's Frankie Griffin with your weekly featured property on Success in Real Estate.
We do have, and I kind of mentioned this a little bit last week for those of you that were listening, but I have a beautiful home that has just come on the market. It's over in Arcadia Lakes, which is over near Fort Jackson side of town, right off of Trenton Road. Very, very nice. It's an older subdivision, very mature subdivision, but very nice place to stay. It's very convenient, obviously, to Fort Jackson and downtown. And this house, it's almost 1,500 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, large yard. In fact, the front yard's even landscaped with rose. It's got a rose flower bed. It's absolutely beautiful. I love it. Hardwood floors throughout. Not sure if I said that, but if I didn't, there you go. But it's just a very, very attractive home. The paint scheme, very nice inside, and all for $145,000. I think that's a very well priced home, given the area, the location, the condition. I think you'd be very, very impressed with it if you're looking in this area. You can certainly give me a call, and my cell phone is 315-7303. Again, area code's 803-315-7303. Now, I'll just tell you, my buddy Jerry Bilton owns Eagle Photography, as he does with all properties that I put on the market. He went out and took the photos, spent quite a bit of time doing it, as he always does. He's somewhat of a perfectionist, if you will. And as soon as I got the photos back from him, I put him on my website. And I don't think I had that property on my website maybe a half hour. But both of the sellers called me at different times, but both of them called me to tell me they saw the pictures and their property on my website and just could not believe how gorgeous these photos were. Jerry does such an awesome job, and that's what you're going to be if you're selling your home or thinking about selling your home. You really need to go take a look at what's on the internet. You need to go take a look at it. Look at it for yourself. Are you impressed with the photos of your home? Regardless whether you're trying to sell by owner or any other, or a real estate agent's got it listed, it doesn't matter. But I'm telling you, we talked about this earlier in the show, but buyers are looking online at these homes, and they expect to see a lot of value in these pictures. And when they flip to a photo and they can hardly see part of the room because it's dark or blurred, or it's just not impressive, and so they're not going to give your home a lot of attention. So I think you'd be very impressed with what Jerry does. He does an awesome job. In fact, if you want to look on my website, you'll see it right there. Again, just go to frankiegriffin.com. But Jerry's also got a website where he's got all of his stuff on here. And in fact, Jerry is in studio with me, as he always is, every Friday morning. He's actually videoing the show. So if you ever want to watch the show from, if you missed it live and you want to go back and watch the recording of it, you can do that, again, on my website, which is just frankiegriffin.com. But Jerry, how you doing this morning, brother?
Doing great. How about yourself?
Oh, this is a fine day today. And I was just talking about your website. What is your website that we can go check out?
It's imagesbyeagle.com. That's www.imagesbyeagle.com.
Well, Jerry, I wanted you to sort of update us a little bit because I know you've started, you've opened up a place of business, and you would like to actually just tell us about what you've got going on. I know you had an open house.
I did.
There.
We opened up it's more of a rental studio for a lot of either amateur or other professional photographers. It's located over at 6030 St. Andrews Road, Suite K. And we have the lighting and everything. Basically, all you need to do is bring your subject to take the pictures. Wanted to announce, and I appreciate you giving me this opportunity, is that I'm going to be teaching a basic photography course June the 14th. That is a Saturday. The time is from 9 until 1 o'clock. We're going to have a lot of fun with this. If you have a camera or you just purchased one, you're not sure how to operate it, or even if you just want to learn to know what different controls on your camera and what they do and how you can go about to take better pictures, this is the course for you because it's very basic. I don't get into a whole lot of technical stuff. Try to keep it simple, use the KISS method, and hopefully that if anyone wants to know more about it, they can give me a call. My phone number is 803-331-9035. That's 803-331-9035. The cost is only $75 for the time that you're there. We're going to have a lot of fun with this, and in the future, we're also planning workshops. We're also working on a photography tour where we will be taking a weekend and maybe going up to the mountains, and folks can take time and
awesome.
We can go up there and take some pictures of some of those beautiful homes up in the mountains and the parkway and everything else.
Awesome.
Thanks, Frankie.
Well, Jerry, that's awesome, and gosh, I may very well want to go sit in that class myself because I am quite the photographer. See, I got one of these little mini cameras. Can you help me out? Can I come with a little tiny mini camera?
You can, even though we'll go over some things that probably that camera will not be able to do. But
oh well, then I'll just call you because I do have another property that's going to be coming on the market very soon. In fact, Jerry, you need to go take pictures of this property. It's going to be over on the Lower Richland side of town. So anybody looking in that area, you will certainly want to stay tuned for next week because this is going to be another very, very nice property. And if you have a home you're thinking about selling and you'd like to talk about what the process is and how to go about selling it, what I do, how I do it, I'd really love to talk to you about it. Again, my cell phone, you can give me a call. My area code is 803-315-7303. And if you couldn't write that number down, just remember my website. Just go to www.frankiegriffin.com. And there you'll also find Jerry and all my other real estate partners' information there also. But anyway, it's going to be a very warm day today, so I hope everybody's got the air conditioner working. Hope you have a great day today and a blessed weekend. Have a great day. You've been listening to Success in Real Estate on The Point.